start to listen to the audios, always read before the questions. Be familiar with the questions as much as possible. I have seen a lot of students facing this issue that, ma'am, I'm not able to manage time in my reading passages, in my reading section. There are times when you can make grammatical mistake, when you can make spelling errors. Always check it on your own. Never ever be underconfident while speaking, and never ever show them that you're nervous or you have some anxiety. And confidence matters the most. I always say this a lot of times, that confidence is the key, guys, to crack your exam. Hello everyone, I welcome you all in yet another session of ours. Here we'll be discussing upon some of the best strategies, some of the best tips we have to know before we begin our test. So without a further ado, let's get started with the video. So the very first thing, what are we going to discuss over here in this particular video are all of these things, like what to expect in the IELTS test and tips for each of the modules, which are LRWS, listening, reading, writing, speaking, and we'll also see some of the common mistakes which you will have to avoid in your test. And later we'll also see how to manage your time and what is the kind of mindset you have to keep before going for your actual test. So let's just get started. The very first module I've taken is for the listening. Let's just understand what are those crucial tips you have to know before you begin your test. See guys, read before. Always read before you actually start to listen to the audios. Always read before the questions. Be familiar with the questions as much as possible. Because if you directly start listening to the audios and you have not read the questions well enough, then definitely you can't solve them properly. Because they are thoroughly unknown to you. They are new to you. So you have to read them, you have to make keywords out of them so that you are aware what you have actually got, what you are expected to solve. You must know before you begin listening the audio. Understood? So always read before you must, whatever you listen, right? Always read before you listen, then focus on the keywords. Then the next step is focus on and make the keywords, mark the keywords out of the question. Not just read the question, but also mark keywords out of them. Now, when I say keywords, you have to mark the nouns, right? Preferably you have to mark nouns. Why? Because nouns can't get paraphrased. Now when I say nouns, I also mean, see, nouns you can mark, then later on if there is a number given, you can also mark that. If there is a address or maybe any kind of a DOB is there, so you must always focus on to these things, because these things can't easily get paraphrased, right? So you can easily find them in your passage, in your audios later on, and this is similar case for the reading passages also. Now, next thing, that don't leave anything blank. We guys are not having any kind of a negative marking in our test. So why to leave anything blank? Fill it out with whatever you know, whatever information you know about that thing, just fill it out, okay? But never ever leave anything blank in your exam. Next thing, check spelling and grammar. See, it is very important that you check the spellings properly, otherwise you're not going to get any mark for that question. It will be a complete zero. So always check this. How do you do that? Once you revise your whole thing, whatever you've marked. So always revise whatever you have marked, whatever you have done so far, because you will be getting ultimately the revision time, right, in listening. And in reading, you'll have to manage it on your own, but do revise it. Over there also, it's not acceptable. Any kind of spelling mistake or any kind of grammatical error. Okay. Next, transfer answers accurately. This is for the PBT candidates, because you will have to guys transfer the answers to the answer sheet. So please answer and transfer accurately. If you like misplace any of the answers to the wrong place or maybe something you missed, so it's going to be a complete zero. So manage it properly. Now the pro tip I have got for you all is answer come in the order over here. So stay alert in the end. Okay, they are always in the order. So whenever, let's suppose they are changing their answers from the first question to the second, you also have to jump. Never ever get stuck in any one of them. So these are the final tips. Mostly audios always follow the sequence of the questions. You also have to follow the order of the audio all the time. Never ever get stuck in any of the questions. Fine. Let's move ahead towards the reading tips now. What I have got for you all for the reading section. See guys, for reading it's very important you know certain skills. What are those skills? By using those skills we can solve the passages fastly. So what are those? These are skimming and scanning. Always use these two skills while solving your passages. Now after using them you can exactly figure it out that where do you have the locations of your answers. Just figure out those locations. Now how do you do that? You will have to again mark keywords as I mentioned in the listening. See, marking keywords is very crucial thing. Okay, how it's going to help you out, let me tell you. Once you have a goal in your mind that this is what you have got in the question, you can easily go in the passage. Instead of reading everything, you can just go and skim it and find your location, scan it. That's how you can do it. You can just find out the location. Let's suppose this specific para, let's suppose is my location, which is a B para. Now I can just read this para instead of reading the whole passage, right? I can just read this exact para, B para, and give it a detailed read and then come to my answer. That's how fast it is. Next, see, true false not given. If you've got certain kind of questions which are true false not given, yes or not given, so they are basically based upon the text, not just the logic. So you must not always follow the logic behind that this must not be there or this is not like this. Don't use your own knowledge over there. Whatever's written, give it a detailed read, guys. I won't suggest for these kind of questions you can go with going for skimming and scanning techniques. No, it's not going to work that way. Over here you will have to read it thoroughly. Let's suppose I know that in this B para I have my answer for this true false not given, then I am going to read it properly and understand the context. Okay, then I'm going to mark it and later manage time smartly over here, because I've seen a lot of students doing this particular mistake that they say that in any of each of the passages, ma'am, I am not able to I have seen a lot of students doing this particular thing. I have seen a lot of students facing this issue that, ma'am, I'm not able to manage time in my reading passages, in my reading section. So how to cover this? How to overcome this problem? See, I always tell them that you are not actually managing the time properly. So 20 minutes is the time, because 60 minutes is the total time what we get, right, for our passages. So 60 minutes, if let's suppose is the total time, and the passages we have got are 3. So 20 is the max time you are going to spend in each of your passage, not more than this 20 minutes. Okay, this is max you're going to spend. And let's suppose this is max, but when I say ideal time, this is also not the ideal time. The minimum time, or what I say ideal, is 15, 17 and 18. This should be there, the sequence. This is for the passage 1, this is for the passage 2, and this is for the passage 3. Now why am I saying so? Because see, the passages are having the different levels. The first one is going to be easier, second one will be quite of a moderate level, and third one will be of a difficult level. So that is why always appropriately give the time. Wisely you have to give the time, because if let's suppose you're not able to complete this ideal range also, then 20 is the max for each of the passages. You must not give any more minute than 20. That's the max. Okay, if you spend more than 20, you are never ever been able to complete the passage on time and to complete all the 40 questions on time, right? So yes, there's no negative marking again, so never ever leave anything blank. Fill it out with your answers, with whatever knowledge you have regarding that context. Clear? Now what's the pro tip? Pro tip I would like to give is, save 5 minutes always for your transferring of the answers or for your revision. Okay, and if you follow this ideal range, you are saving your 10 minutes of time. You are completing the whole passage in 50 minutes only. So that 10 minutes now you can utilize in transferring the answers and also in revising the answers. Clear? Because there is no spelling mistake should be there. There should not be any grammatical mistake. That is why you always revise. Now, writing tips. What are some of the writing tips I have got in front of you all? The very first one is that understand the task. Okay, like you must be knowing that in the task 1 for the academic candidates, you guys get the report writing. So over there you need to understand that graph properly, otherwise you will never ever be able to solve that properly. Understanding is something which is very crucial over there. So you understand, take your time, take your 5 minutes, good 5 minutes of time, and just understand that task of what exactly is given over there. Understand that, check that. and once you are done understanding, and then you go on writing. Over here I'm writing it like 150 is the minimum words we get, right? So we are going to start it like this, that 5 minutes we will give in order to just prepare for it, in order to see and understand the whole graph, and then after 13 minutes we will then spend in responding. We will write the whole chart of ours, the whole write-up of ours, and then 2 minutes we will spend in order to revise whatever so far we have written. So this should be the ideal time management over there for your writing task 1. Clear? Next, use linking keywords. Always use linking keywords. What are they? However, this shows contrast, moreover, on the other hand, and etc. There are so many. Please use them. It actually helps you to enhance your band score in your write-ups. Now, always plan before you write. So these are some time management. This is the time management you always have to follow. This is the time bifurcation of your 20 minutes. This is for the 20 minutes time bifurcation. Now, don't repeat vocabularies. Always use synonym. Repetition isn't allowed in IELTS at all. So always use synonyms. If there is a word important, so you can say crucial if you have to use it again and again. So don't repeat it. Instead, use synonyms. So you can say vital, you can say crucial, you can say significant, and there are so many. You can say essential, right? All these. Now, proofread your work. Again, very important. Go and check it. There are times when you can make grammatical mistake, when you can make spelling errors. Always check it on your own. Now, pro tip I have got for this section is focus on the clarity, not on the length. Okay? I am not saying that you write it like in so many words. It should be lengthy. No. It should have the quality. It should not have or not contain any kind of errors. Clear? Now, quality should be more than quantity. That's I would like to say. Next, speaking. What are some of the speaking tips I have got for you all? Are these. So be natural and confident all the time, guys. Never ever be underconfident while speaking, and never ever show them that you're nervous or you have some anxiety. Otherwise, what you will do is just that you will stammer. You will start stammering if you have the anxiety or if you're being nervous. So this is what I have. The very first thing, be natural. In whatever accent you have, whatever tone of yours you have, just be natural and stay confident all the time. Next, extend your answers. There shouldn't be times that you're just speaking in 1 word or 2 words. You have to speak at length, right? It should be lengthy. It like 2-3 lines answer, or maybe 3-4 lines answer, depending upon the type of questions you are getting. Maybe if it's in the part 1, then it should be 2-3 lines. If it's in the part 3rd, then it should be 3-4 lines. Like little bit more lengthy answers should be there. But then never ever it should be there like in 1 word, 2 words, or 1 line, 2 line. Got it? Next, use connectors all the time. What are they? Actually, in my opinion, that's an interesting question like that. So use them to sound more natural. Now, avoid memorizing of the answers. Never ever memorize answers or the responses. It's not going to work. I'm telling you. Trust me, it's not going to work. So instead of memorizing answers, you can practice for it a lot of times. Right? That's what you can do. And it should all come naturally. Now, maintain eye contact. Again, it's very important that you make the eye contact with the examiner, and also keep that simple smile on all the time. It's not an ICU you are into. It's not that serious examination you are into. Always have that simple smile on. That actually makes you look more confident. Okay? Next, pro tip I have got is that for part 2, structure your talk. How do you structure that? First, you give the introduction of that specific topic, whatever you have got your cue card on. Give the introduction around that topic. In general terms, try to describe that. Later, main points, you will have to cover those bullet points, those prompts of yours. This is for the part 2, guys. And then you give the examples on whatever you are saying, why do you say so, or what is the kind of relevant experience you have regarding that, and then end it. Now, ending means conclusion. Give it a proper ending. Don't just leave it in any manner. Okay? End it properly. Give it a proper conclusion. Next, Now let's discuss how do you manage time. So allocate time wisely in each section. Don't get stuck in any one question. Move ahead and return later. Once you are having the revision time of yours, you can come back later. Now practice full mock test to build stamina and accuracy. Always practice the mock. I'll give you the approximate idea that where you're actually standing right now. Clear? Then pro tip I have got is keep calm. IELTS rewards consistency, not perfection. So you must always be consistent while practicing instead of being perfect all the time. That I'm not getting 8 band, so I've stopped my practicing. No. Okay, stay consistent. Now next, common mistakes. What are some of the common mistakes which you always must avoid in IELTS? So writing answers in wrong place, on wrong sheet. So writing answers in wrong place on answer sheet. This can be a big issue for you guys, for the PBT candidates specifically. Why? If you are answering also, your answer is also correct, but then you are marking it at wrong place. Ultimately, not going to give you any kind of a band, right? It's going to be a total 0. Next, ignoring word limits. You are ignoring the word limits in writing. You don't know, you are not counting the words, you are just keep on writing. This is not going to help you again. Now, leaving blanks in listening and reading. As I said, there is no negative marking. So why to leave anything blank, right? Mark it. Now, using informal tone in essays. See, essays are considered, even write-ups. Writing section, the whole writing section is considered to be a formal write-ups. Okay, it is all formally written. You can't write it in informal tone. Understood? Like speaking is something that is considered to be everyday conversations, not that formal. But yes, in your writing section, both the tasks are considered to be the formal tasks. You have to use the formal tone only over there. Later, speaking unnaturally or memorized responses, or maybe next is speaking unnaturally or memorized. You have memorized some of the responses, some of the words, and then it's not looking like that. It's all natural. Again, a big issue for you. Okay, how can you make it look like that? Once you are damn confident, once you are relaxed, once you are calm, clear, then it will automatically come naturally. Once you force yourself, push yourself for something, then you start to stammer. Clear? Next, pro tip is focus on accuracy plus natural expressions. Okay, guys? Next. So the last minute tips are that sleep well before a night, okay, of your exam. Always sleep well. Now eat light and stay hydrated. Carry your ID and arrive early at the test center. Stay calm, positive. Clear? And confidence matters the most. I always say this a lot of times, that confidence is the key, guys, to crack your exam. Confidence is the key. If you are confident, if you are damn confident on yourself, nobody else is there who can judge you in a negative way or can lower your band. I am not saying that you be overconfident, but then you be at least confident. That whatever you're saying, you're confident and sure onto that. Okay, next, final motivational tip I have got for you is that IELTS is not a test of intelligence, but it's a test of skill and strategy, smart practice, and not just hard practice you need over here. You need to be smart, you need to be sagacious, you need to be prudent, you need to be perspicacious. Okay, and yes, you've got this. So I hope, guys, that the session was informative and you gain a lot of things and you are definitely going to improve yourself. Thank you so much. We'll meet you in another one very soon.